Hello again, welcome to the I Hit Drums, a Beginner's Guide podcast with me, Mark, your teacher for this series. In the last lesson, we were introduced to the 3 toms and we started using those for 8 different fills. Today we're going to work through some new key grooves and then get you started on the next piece, which is called Tomorrow. Okay, so I hope you all got on well with those previous 8 fills in exercise 8.1. If you are still struggling with these, keep working on them. And remember, you can always get in touch with me for some feedback. All of those fills will have set you up to understand the upcoming piece as well as what we have in these key grooves. It's important to take a moment and just realize how far you've come. As well as understanding different note values in complicated rhythms, you're also now understanding the different notes which relate to different drums of the kit. This is a big achievement, especially when you consider that all of that understanding is then put into a physical movement on the kit. So well done. Let's continue this progress by looking at key groove 1 on page 54. In this key groove, we only have half a bar of groove and then half a bar with a fill. So that transition from groove to fill is going to be much quicker here. There's no specific length that a fill needs to be. Sometimes it can be a whole bar, sometimes it can be half a bar, sometimes it can be 1 beat, sometimes it can be 8 bars. It really depends on what's appropriate for the song. So in this key groove, the fill is going 3 and 4 E and we also have that notation written above just to help you out. Now as this fill goes around the kit in a clockwise direction, we want to keep the sticking right, left. So we will play the 3 and on the snare and the high tom, right, left, and then the 4E, right, left, and then the remaining floor tom on the and of 4, right. You'll find this key groove on bar 10 of the song. So let's give it a try. Key groove 1 at 40 BPM. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now moving on to key groove 2, at first glance this might seem like a lot of notes, but when you actually start to break down the parts, it's not as hard as it appears at first. You actually have 8 floor tom hits in this groove, playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the floor tom part in this groove is doing exactly what the hi-hat normally does in many other grooves. You're just simply moving that hand from the hi-hat to the floor tom instead. The movement is the same. If we were to remove those floor tom hits from this groove, we'd be left with a bass drum on the 1 and the and, snare drum on 2. That's exactly what we have in key groove 1. So the bass drum and snare drum pattern is the same. The only extra addition in this groove is that high tom on the and of 2. So your left hand is going to have to move from the snare drum to the high tom. You'll find this key groove on bars 15 and 16 of the song. So let's give key groove 2 a try at 40 BPM. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In key groove 3, we're still playing the floor tom with the right hand, at least for most of the bar, and this finishes off with a snare drum roll playing 4 E ander. There is another element to this bar though, which is new. Underneath the groove, you'll see 2 lines that gradually separate. In music, this is known as a crescendo. What it actually means is that over the course of the bar, you'll get louder. Now something to consider with crescendos. If you're already playing quite loud, then you might have a limited ceiling on how much louder you can get. So in order to have a large impact with this gradual build in volume, consider dropping your volume a bit first, so you're actually starting quieter and then you've got a much higher ceiling to reach. Dynamic change within music is a very powerful thing, and that covers the whole range of volume, from very quiet to very loud. So with this key groove, see if you can actually incorporate the quiet and the loud and everything in between. Let's give it a try at 40 BPM. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, did you remember to start quiet with that? Let's give it another try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Key groove 4 isn't a particularly tricky groove, but we do have a snare drum on beat 3. In a lot of grooves that we've played up to this point, there's usually a bass drum or sometimes a rest on beat 3. So this might feel a little bit strange. So let's give key groove 4 a try at 40 BPM. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In key groove 5, we're introducing another new thing. Above each of those bass drums, we have a new note. Now these are all quarter notes, but what's the instrument? What part of the drum kit are you playing? For those of you that checked out the notation guide on page 3, you will have already seen this identified as the crash cymbal. So at this point you might want to refer back to the picture of the drum kit on page 2. Just to remind yourself which of the cymbals is the crash. You'll find this key groove on bar 33 of the song. One thing to watch out for with this bar is playing it too fast. The previous bar, you're going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But with key groove 5, you're only playing the quarter note. So that cymbal has to last for 2 eighth notes. So it's going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4. So just watch that you don't end up playing these crashes on 1 and 2 and. So let's give it a try at 40 BPM. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so once you've got your head around those 5 key grooves, it's time to try the song Tomorrow. But before you try that, there's a few things I'd like to discuss in regards to the song. First of all, it begins with a 4-bar rest. So you're going to get the initial counting of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll need to count 4 bars before you start playing. The piece also has many fills. Almost every line finishes with a fill, and some of these you'll have seen in the key grooves, but others you will have actually seen within exercise 8.1. So make sure you're feeling confident with both 8.1 and the key grooves for this piece. And finally, the verse section for this song, marked with V, has a repeat in it. So once you've played those 4 bars of the verse, you go back to the start of the verse and do them again. You can access the music for this song by going to the supporting audio that comes with the book, the link to which you'll find on page 1. Once again, if you would like any feedback on your progress with this piece, then you can get in touch with me at Instagram by going to @IHitDrums or by going to Facebook at facebook.com/IHitDrumsUK. For a small fee, you can send me a video of yourself playing the piece, and then I'll get back to you with my own video, including some feedback and instruction. And regardless of where you are in the world, you can also study with me online. I use Zoom and Skype for this. So your practice this week is to review exercise 8.1, work on those key grooves for tomorrow, and then try the song. In the next lesson, we're going to begin working on another new song which focuses on moving between all of the cymbals, including the ride cymbal, which we haven't used yet. But until then, enjoy! I Hit Drums, a beginner's guide, can be purchased through Amazon as a paperback or as an ebook through Amazon, iTunes, and Kobo. Just search for I Hit Drums, A Beginner's Guide.